Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're seeing me for the first time, hi, my name is Letabo Bula and you're watching Living Young and Spiritually. I'm so glad to have you here. Please do stick around, subscribe, and be a part of the family because it's that easy. Okay, doll. And if you are a returning subscriber, a regular, welcome back to my vloggy gang. If you don't know where the name comes from, go watch the previous video, okay? For my sake, please. Anyway, guys, so today I actually just finished reading my Bible and something just said, let me tell you guys more about my journey with God, and this story is actually the beginning of my salvation. As in, this was where I decided, God, I want you and I want you for life. Obviously I grew up in a Christian household. Going to church was like a thing, every Sunday is church day. So that was like just the norm in my family. My parents are very God-fearing people, very prayerful people. So what's happening here? So I grew up knowing about God, but for me I just felt like I was practicing Christianity religiously. It was just like a religion. But in grade 11, when I had this experience, that was when I decided that, you know what, this is where it's at. I want him for life. I want to do this life thing with God. As a matter of fact, how dare the enemy try me like that? Like, what is he trying to do? So that's when I decided that, you know what, I really want to be saved and like begin this journey with Jesus, accept him as my personal Lord and Savior, and really just live life for Christ, die to myself and live in his ways. And it's been a journey ever since then. So let's get some popcorn. Why didn't I make my own popcorn? But anyway, grab some popcorn because I'm about to give you guys a juicy one. Okay, let's go. So guys, as I said, this all happened in grade 11. I can't remember if it was actually grade 10 or grade 11, but I think it was in grade 11. I have a feeling it was in grade 11. Back then I used to have like dreads, I don't have a picture of dreads, of me and dreads, and I actually don't know why, but back then I actually used to have dreads. And my mom was like, let's go to this. She was going to church. She had fetched me from school, and then it was a Thursday, so I had to get my hair done, and we didn't know which salon to go to get my hair done. So she was like, okay, I'm going to church, because they were having like a mother's meeting sort of on a Thursday, like weekly services. So then she's like, okay, let's find a salon around church so that I can drop you off, go to church, and then pick you up later. And I was like, okay, that's cool, fine. We went to this salon that was like literally a few houses away from my church, like down the road, but not a long distance, but like lengthy, sort of, kind of, but not that long, but kind of sort of long. Okay, so we went to that salon. She dropped me off there, told the guy what I wanted, and then just left me there. Cool. So as I'm sitting, I'm waiting for this guy to finish. I think there were like two people before me, or one person. I think it was one person, yeah, ahead of me. So he was busy with that person. He was a very quiet guy. I don't even remember what he looked like. He was just super dark skinned, so I don't really remember what he looked like. I'm not saying anything negative about dark skinned people, please. I'm just describing the man. So he was just like super dark skinned, and that's all I remember about him. So I'm sitting, and he wasn't interactive at all. He was very quiet. That's why I actually don't even remember what he looks like, because he was literally very quiet. So then this guy walks in. His name was Ayanda. So he comes into the salon while I'm doing my hair, and he sits next to me. Okay, cool. And then like, it's just, he greets me immediately as he gets there. He greets me. I'm like, hi. And then asks me, how are you, whatever. And so I could already see like he's really well older than me. He's youth, but like I think he looked like he was around about 25. And I was in grade 11 at that time. So I was just kind of like so weirded out by why is this man talking to me, you know? So, okay, cool. Furthermore, we just continue having conversations. You know, I'm just thinking, oh man, he's just a nice guy. We're both at the salon waiting to get our hair done and we're having a conversation. So yeah, we're just having conversation, cool. Then I asked him about this band, you know, these Zulu people things. Now please, if you're Zulu and you have this, don't come for me because I am not, please don't come for me. But he had one of those things, right? Those fur sheep, is it sheepskin or what? I think it's sheep, I don't know, or cow skin, I don't know, that thing, right? So he had one of those things, and from our conversation he had said he was Xhosa. So I found it very weird because I thought it's only something that Zulu people have. So I was just like, what is that, right? And then that's when the conversation unpacked, where he started telling me that, oh no, he actually is a very traditional person. I'm like, oh okay, what do you believe in, you know? And I think also at that time in grade 11, generally I was working on my relationship with God. I had like, my friends and I were really about God. One of my friends was Kanyo. Guys, I don't even know where Kanyo is to this day. She literally left our school, and then she had no phone for like the longest time. That girl just disappeared from my life, and it's still painful to this day. Like, I don't know where she is. I have no idea where she is. I don't know how to find her. I don't even know where to start. But Kanye and I were like really God-fearing people, and like we just always spoke about God and like things that we experiencing, especially as young as we are. So it was really nice to have like a friend from school who was like really spiritual, though we're in like our foundation phases of spirituality, you know. So I feel like in grade 11, I was really intrigued, you know. So when he was telling me about him being a traditional person, I was intrigued about, okay, what are your beliefs? I feel like the faith talk for me was just always interesting from then. Like, it was just like, I want to know about what you believe in. I want to know what your thoughts are. I want to understand. I think I'm just genuinely a very inquisitive person, but inquisitive in a sense of I'm curious about where people's headspaces are, or what people's thinking are about God, you know, and about relationships with God and faith and all of that stuff. I'm just genuinely interested. So I asked him, and then he starts telling me that no, he's actually a Sangoma. I'm like, oh, that explains the thing. And then he's like, yeah, but inside that thing there's like a snake skin. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then he's like, that snake skin is basically a voice that leads him. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, like it speaks, you know. And then he told me about some lady, I don't know, some Indian or white lady that is just the voice in the snake skin that basically just leads and directs him and all of that stuff. And then I was just like, but you're just a Sangoma. Like, that's not how Sangomas do it from what I know. And then he further went into like explaining that no, you know, he actually reads Satanic Bible, so like he's involved in satanic practices. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting, you know. And that's when the conversation really became interesting, because one thing about me, I like debating about God. I like it. Like, I will come for you with the word of God, okay? Listen, let's go down that, like, let's go there. But I also just think what I've learned is certain circumstances, I don't even feel like it. Like, I think I've learned that there are certain people whose perspectives and interpretations of the Bible for me are just not aligning with me. Like, I feel like they do this. So when I pick up that in a person, I actually don't even bother engaging in debating. I'm going to let you win. I'm really going to let you win. I'm going to be like, you're actually right. But deep down, I know my spirit is just like, nah, something is not making sure. And that's actually how I contemplate, how I end up asking myself whether this person is meant for me or not. Because at the end of the day, even if in friendships, like, I feel like at the end of the day, you need to be spiritually aligned. You need to speak the same language, you know. Yes, we can have different interpretations of scripture, but if those interpretations are very self-enriching and not glorifying God. Yeah, let's say they're first self-enriching before they glorify God. For me, that just feels like then there's just something were missing there, because the Bible is not there for people to use for power. And if I feel like I've really come across, especially guys that really make reference of the Bible, or that think the Bible is there for to give them power, but the Bible is there to give God the glory. But anyway, the point is, generally I really like debating about the Word of God, especially with people that do not know about the Word of God much. So I saw that as an opportunity. I was just like, nah, actually I want to get into this, and I was just like, wow, what's your thought about God? What's your thought about faith? What's your thought about Christianity? And I asked him about this God of yours, who is Satan, as a matter of fact. But anyway, this God of yours, what does he do for you? How does he make you feel? And we're just going back and forth, guys. It was a really powerful conversation, in a sense of, I said things I didn't even know I knew. Like when you quote the Bible and when you make reference of God in such an authoritative and a powerful way, and you can hear that you're overpowering someone of the opposite kingdom with your words. But it was just so weird at that time, because I just felt like I didn't think I knew that much. You know what I mean? Like I didn't think like I had two solid legs to stand on. Like I was very bold and brave about it, but I really think it was an opportunity that God was using, So as we're having these conversations, we're going back and forth. Okay, cool. And I'm not scared, guys. The funny thing about was I was never scared from the jump, because for me, when this person approached and he opened up that information, for me it just meant, okay, God, here's an opportunity to change someone's life. Are you going to intervene? Because I'm not scared, so you're gonna lead me. You get what I mean? Like I wasn't scared. I immediately thought and felt, okay, somebody needs to know about God, and let me get on to it. Like, let me do my job. I was never intimidated. Even when he was telling me stuff like in his kingdom he's considered the beast, like he's really high above, and like he's so powerful, and like he's got so much power, and he can literally just destroy and do anything. He can teleport. He can teleport to anywhere. Like he was saying the craziest things, guys, and I was not. Time I'm in grade 11 and I'm a little baby in the faith, so I mean, seriously, I felt like I should have been shaken up a bit, but I was just like, okay, TMI, like, okay, God, what are we going to do about this? And we were just going back and forth about the conversation, and then even when I started doing my hair, the conversation was going. And the funny thing is, he hadn't done his hair, but obviously at that time I'm not picking up anything. This is just a casual looking guy walking into the salon, waiting to do his hair, having a conversation. Nothing is funny, and he's telling me about his belief system and where he comes from, and I'm like, okay, maybe I might change this guy's life, and tell him about Jesus, the Savior. That's all that's happening in my mind. I'm not thinking anything out of the ordinary. Okay, cool. Then after I do my hair, I have to pay. So then the hairstylist, this quiet guy, says to me he doesn't have change. And I'm like, okay. So now it's like, okay, I don't know where the shops are, because genuinely I don't know where the shops are. So I was like, I don't know where the shops are. Like, how are we going to make change then? And then Ayanda's like, no, let's go. There's a shop just around the corner, right? I'm like, I'm so scared to be in the hood by myself, like with strangers, so I'm not comfortable with walking. He's like, no, like it's really just here. Like honestly, after all the conversations we've had, what could I possibly do to you? Then I was like, okay, let's go. We walked, and as we're walking, the conversation is going. We're still going back and forth about faith, and he's telling me about this apparent stupid little satanic god of his, and I was just like, anyway. So we're walking, and then my heart starts beating fast. And I don't know why my heart starts beating fast, because like I said, I was never scared. Like I was just like, okay, I'm on a mission. Like I was never scared. So when my heart started beating fast, I felt that something was wrong, but I just felt like something was wrong with me. Like I was just like, okay, what is happening? Like what is happening? Like guys, like you're becoming all over the place. Like you're not even listening properly to the conversation you're having. Anxiety, yeah, anxiety that makes you're all over the place. Your heart is beating fast and you're all over the place. It just happened like that. So we turn into the corner and we continue walking. And all I'm thinking about, I'm trying to breathe in and out while I'm busy talking to him, because I'm just trying to figure out, why is my heart beating so fast, you know? Then at some point, it's like something's pulling me back. Like something's just saying, turn around, walk back, turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around. But I'm not turning around, guys, because I'm just thinking, why am I scared? Like, what's there to be scared of? Like, no ways, like no ways, God, excuse me, whatever this is trying to intimidate me. But like, do you know my God? I serve a very powerful God, so there's absolutely no way I'm going to be shaken up and I'm going to turn around and let him think that I'm scared of what? You get what I mean? Guys, I have no idea. My heart's just beating fast. And when we turn into the streets that's just like, it's quiet. It's like flat land, like a big patch of flat land. It's just quiet, like it's dead quiet. There's not a single person, guys. The time, it's traffic hour, it's during the week, it's in the hood. Traffic hour during the hood during the week is hectic. So the fact that there was no one in that area, it was just me and him walking. And then something really was becoming intense in me, like turn around, you know. And I started thinking to myself, okay, God, like what am I gonna do? Guys, immediately after I thought that, someone taps on his back, on Ayanda's back, and that person's like, hi. And it's a girl. So I'm like, ooh, I am so sorry, I gotta go. Because one thing we're not gonna do is, I don't want to get a beating. I don't want people to assume that hey, I'm taking someone's man, and that girl was actually his girlfriend. So when the girl taps and she's like, hi, he says, oh, this is my girlfriend. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, let me let you guys do your thing, let me turn around, I will be at the salon, right? And I left. I left, and that for me felt like, okay, God, you rescued me. But rescued me from what, you know? And I was just so, guys, I was confused. I was all over the place at that moment. I go back to the salon. The hairstylist asks me, where is Ayanda? I'm like, his girlfriend was, we bumped into his girlfriend, so he left with his girlfriend, but he said he's coming back, right? And then I'm waiting for Ayanda to come back so that we can go to the salon. My mom's still in church, so like, I'm basically, the whole concept or the idea was, after I finish with my hair, I'm going to wait for my mom to come and fetch me. That's all, right? And it's not that far. So I'm just sitting there waiting. I don't know, I'm just waiting that, okay guys, where to from here? What are we doing? So Ayanda comes back and then he apologizes. I'm like, no, it's fine. And then he's like, okay, no, let's go to the salon. I'm like, no. He's like, let's go to the shop to get you change. I'm like, no, why can't we go to the people at the corner there? Because even the first time when he said we must go to the shop around the corner, I was like, let's go to the people around the corner there. And I can't remember what he said about them, but he didn't like the idea of going there. Like, they probably don't have change or something. I don't know. He said something that convinced me that, okay, let's go around the corner to the shop. So when he came back, after feeling how I felt, I was just like, nah, let's just go there. Honestly, if they don't have it, is what it is. Then I realized that, okay, like, I'm pressed for the bathroom at the same time. So I asked the hairdresser, do you guys have a bathroom anywhere? And then he's like, no, they don't have a bathroom. And then Ayanda's like, let's go opposite. So it was literally the house opposite where I was. And he was like, my eyes are so sore. All of a sudden, I get into the bathroom. I get into the toilet. It's like an outside toilet. So I'm like to Ayanda, it's so dark in here, I'm so scared. And then he's like, no, don't be scared, I'm a beast. Guys, did I not get so aggravated? I'm like, stop telling me that rubbish. God is my protector. Like, don't even bother. Like, if you think that little God of yours is gonna protect me, please, what are you talking about? That's disgusting. You're gonna tell me about a little devil, that ugly thing? Gotta be joking. So I'm like, please don't tell me about that. And then I was like, God's got me. So guys, as I'm in the bathroom, in the toilet, I'm talking to God. I'm like, God, something's off. I really said that. I'm like, God, something's off, and I don't know how I feel, but I don't feel good. But can you protect me? Can you please protect me? Can you cover me? Can you keep me safe? I don't know what's happening, right? I don't know what's happening. And guys, I was so serious at that moment. Like, I was like, God, I don't know what's happening. Okay, it's getting a little scary, it's getting a little weird, so please can you just protect me at this point? Cool. Then I step outside. As I step outside, we go back to the salon. We go and just wait for my mom. And the conversation goes on, guys, still going back and forth. And then eventually I convinced him. I'm like, I don't know if I convinced him actually, but I was just suggesting, I'm like, come to my church, you know, come visit my church. It's literally right up the road, like right over there. So on Sunday, just come to church and just see how the vibes are, right? And then he asked for my number, and I was like, no, if you want my number, come to church. You'll get my number at church. Bet. And for me, that was because honestly, guys, the mission was just save a life. Like, save a life. That was the mission. My mission was honestly, you know what? If God, you brought this person my way, then surely there's something I need to do, something I need to influence, some effect must take place, you know, like something must happen in his life where he really feels the power of God. So for me, it was just like, come to my church, and I'm just praying that he really does come to my church, he does experience something, he does get delivered, and he's set free. That's all. So then I go home. Now guys, when I go home, I tell my mom half of the story, like the encounter. Like, I think I switched it up a bit because I felt like if I told her that, oh, this guy just came to me in the salon and we started speaking, and if I told her like I went with him to the shop, like she'd just be like, why are you with this boy? Wow. Because my mom at the time, she was very strict, you know, so like just sitting next to a boy, bro, okay, you're in trouble. Like, she mustn't even see me hugging a guy, nothing like that. So I was really scared to tell her. So I can't remember the story that I told her, but it was a very simplified version of events. Very simplified version of events. I did not mention the whole, we went to the shop, you know, and then halfway through the shop I turned around. I didn't tell her all of that stuff because I was just like, I'm not trying to. She will focus on the wrong thing. You know, she's really gonna focus on the wrong thing. So I just didn't tell her. Cool. Now, this was on a Thursday, guys, right? Sunday, we go to church. Everything's just normal. He's not at church. Okay, cool. Monday night, the pastor, the first lady, calls my mom, and she's like to my mom, I want to see you and your daughter. We want to talk about something very serious. My mom was like, what have you done? I'm like, I have not done anything. Like, guys, for me, I was so scared. I was so terrified. Like, yes, we had a relationship with the pastor and the first lady, but like, it was like, no, okay, I don't want to be called to the mission. Like, why am I be called to the mission? Like, what have I done? Like, no, I'm in no one's business, I'm in no one's way, I'm not causing chaos towards any. Listen, I'm just minding my own business. So please, why the hell am I being called to the mission with my mom? What's happening? Guys, I did not at all think it would have anything to do with that guy. So I think it was on Wednesday, I think on Tuesday, I think it was on Wednesday, yeah, on Wednesday or Thursday, we went to the mission. And then we sit down, and Mamoroti is just telling me and my mom all of these stories about, there was a guy who came to the mission on Sunday after church, and basically just confessing a whole lot of things, confessing that he was sent to kill me, and he failed to kill me because there was just like a power that was greater than his, that he had never encountered before. And so he was just left so confused about what power is this that this person is carrying that is greater than mine, because I am the greatest, you know. So he was just like, he was just so baffled by failing, because he had never failed, you know, at killing someone or getting the job done. So why did he fail? And him just experiencing power that he's never seen before, for him was just crazy. And then he was sharing stuff like that our entire family was like on their satanic map. Like, there's just the satanic map where they target certain families, you know, specific families. The devils target specific families that need to be destroyed, like completely destroyed. And our family was part of that map, you know. So he knew everything about us, he knew everything about me, he knew which school I went to, He knew I was going to the salon and he was chilling waiting for me. He knew everything, guys. He knew everything. So as he's saying these things, as Mama is telling us these things, guys, like my stomach was doing this. And I'm just sitting there frozen, just shocked, just like, wait a minute, what am I hearing? Especially because I'm like, you know, when you're trying to replay events, you're trying to replay everything, and it's just like, shucks. The only thing, guys, that really was the highlight of the story that I was being told, or what Mama Hoti was conveying to me, was, so basically this person, this entire time when we were walking to the shop and stuff like that, he was literally going to go kill me. He was going to go and execute. Like, yay, guys. On top of that, guys, can you please just understand, like, I'm in grade 11. Like, hi, I'm still in high school. God, I'm still a baby. Like, why me? You know, like, I was just so confused, guys. Like, why on earth would it be me? I'm still in high school. I'm just minding my own business. Why? And you know, he was just sharing all of these things, and he was sharing serious stories. I'm actually not going to share some of them because you guys will literally think I'm crazy. I even remember in grade 11 when I was telling, like, I didn't want to tell my friends, like the Kanyo and Pendile and Larato and all of them. I really just felt like I didn't want to actually share the story because I felt like it sounded crazy, and I felt like my friends were going to think I'm crazy. But I just really felt like I needed to share this with someone, because what in the world, I need someone to help me dissect this thing, because I also just felt like my mom would dissect it from a parental perspective, from a very spiritual, mature person. But now, who's still growing in faith, I just felt I was just so shocked, and I needed my peers to be shocked with me. Like, what is happening, guys? What just happened? Like, what? So as Mom was just saying all of these things, guys, and everything else, and that they prayed for him, and as they were praying for him, like, he was crawling like towards the door, and his head kept on hitting the door. So it's almost like something was coming out, you know, and he was puking. And then he'd also go to the services during the week, and like, he just hit chairs and just be crazy, crawl under the chairs. Like, listen, proper possessed, okay? Proper demon possessed. And what I do know, guys, about people who are like Satanists and devil worshippers and all of that stuff, what I really do know the most is that they get to a point where they want help. They want to be free. And they have a way of calling for help, but sometimes we as people don't actually see it. We as Christians don't actually see it. You either get very scared at the fact that, oh my gosh, she's a devil worshiper, demon, stay away from me, what, don't come near me, you know what I mean? Or it's like, hey, when are you demon? Like very harsh, you know. Some people come across, like some Christians come across very harsh towards them. And I'm gonna share a link of a video that I also watched a few weeks ago, and this video actually also pushed me to share this story, honestly speaking, because it was just like, you know what, the more we alert people, especially Christian people, of the ways of the devil, the better. You know, the better we are, the more aware we are, the more aware we are of the strategies of the devil, you know, and how we can always just stay awake and woke and prayerful, and why it's important to stay prayerful. So yeah, that video, there's a lady, she's also a devil worshiper, and I mean, maybe to some people it might be a bit scary, but it's like scary as in you need to know this. It's not scary, it's really not scary, but it's like, damn, there's like a whole nother world, and this is how this whole nother world operates in this real world, and how you really need to be careful, guys, how you need to be awake. Like, if you're trying to grow your relationship with God and you are stuck somewhere, there's just certain things that you really need to pay attention to. So I'm going to link down that video down below so you guys also watch it when you have time. It's really a video to watch. There's like, it's 3 parts that the devil worshipper speaks. Like, no, not a devil worshipper. She was a former devil worshipper. Please forgive me. She's a former devil worshipper, but now she is a minister. She is a worshipper, and yeah, she really just shares her story with Christians so that Christians are more aware. So I'll link it down below. But anyway, the point that I wanted to make was that in as much as they get possessed and they get attacked, like people get possessed and attacked by the spirit, this devil, at some point there's a cry, you know, and sometimes we're not aware of the cry. And with Ayanda, what I really do remember is that I feel like he didn't have a support system, but him constantly going back to church and them praying for him and him doing crazy things, but like he's still trying to come to church because he's still trying to be free, he's still trying to get delivered, but he's having a tough time. Like he'd always share about like how they'd come back, you know, and they'd come these demons, his demon teammates or whatever, they'd come back and they'd try and beat him up, you know. They'd not even try, they'd beat him up, you know, and they'd force him to go back, and the devil would punish him and he'd go hungry. More so, he was involved in it when he was very young, like he was very, 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 very young, so he doesn't even have a matric, you know. Like the devil made sure he took him while he was extremely young, and he was someone that really didn't grow up like raised well in family, feeling loved, and he was just very poor and struggling. And so that's what led him to that direction, or that's what the devil used to pull him in, you know. Yeah, and like you could just hear, guys, like whenever like I'd make suggestions or just following up when he'd start coming to church, and I'd really just ask him about like how's he doing now, what's his plan, you know, just saying, okay, let's find a way to get you back into school, you know, so that you get your grades and stuff like that. But you could see like he was just like, it's really not easy, like it's really difficult. And then when I heard that lady in that video that was sharing that like it took her 3.5 years to get delivered, it made me realize that okay, this deliverance, like for people like him, is very intense, it's very lengthy, and it needs a whole lot of support. I probably sound very weird to you guys for like approaching the situation with so much compassion, but that's the power, guys. That's the only way in which we can overcome the devil and what he's trying to do, and him trying to destroy these lives. At the end of the day, these people belong to God. These people were created by God. God designed each and every single human being to be a part of his perfect puzzle, his perfect image, his perfect plan. And it's just a matter of, it's our choices, you know. We decide whether we want to be in his perfect plan or not, but at the end of the day, we are all God's children. So sharing the compassion and the support comes from a place of, at the end of the day, this person belongs to God, and I hope that one day he will get out of this little hellhole that he's in, and I'm going to do what I can, and I'm going to get the people that I can to support and pray. Like the pastor and the pastor's wife were there, my mom was there, his uncle and aunt who actually went to our church at some point eventually, they were also there. Everybody was just there. He really had a support structure. So hence I'm like, I don't know where he is now, but I really pray that he's not dead, because honestly the devil was very mad at him. Like he kept on expressing that the devil was very mad at him, and you know, like he could really be destroyed at any minute. And usually from what I know is when you do stuff like that, the devil actually does destroy you. Like he does kill you if you end up confessing and speaking about what happens in their kingdom. Unless you really do a 360, you get saved and you get fully delivered and you fight through your deliverance. So yeah, guys, that's just basically the story. I feel like now I'm just sharing my own things, but that's just basically the story. I remember the one Sunday then when he spoke to me, when he actually then asked for my number, and I said to him, I'm like, you know, because we were speaking and I was asking him like about where he is spiritually, and from what he was saying, it just sounded like he was considering going back because he was suffering. Like he had no food, he had no place to stay, he had nothing. And obviously when all these years you're so used to having everything, having the finest car, nice place, that's fake from the devil, you know, and then you do something, he takes all of that away from you, and you don't know how to start from the bottom, especially because, you know, you don't even have a degree, you don't have a matric, you don't have anything, you know what I mean? Obviously it's really tricky. So when we were talking, and he was just insinuating going back, for me I just felt like, nah. I felt like I wasn't okay. I said to him, I was like, I don't think you and I will ever see eye to eye, because we serve two completely different kingdoms, and you are still fighting getting into this kingdom, but at the same time it's like you are accepting that you belong to that kingdom. So if you've come to a point of acceptance, then I think the only thing I can do is just continue praying for you. But there's no relationship that we can have, there's no way we can have a relationship or a friendship, there's just absolutely no way. And I just felt like I'm not going to let you have a closer rear view of my life and the people around my life. You get what I mean? So and I remember immediately when I said that, I don't know what's the word, guys, if it's deflecting, but you know, like these random videos that they do on social media, when they show like how celebrities are maybe sitting and then their eyes twitch and switch up, or something funny happens in their facial expressions. I literally experienced his eyes doing a whole loop, like it was his eyes like switched. He blinked and then it was like snake eyes, and then he blinked again and then it was his normal eyes. This is mid conversation while we're talking outside. He blinks, his eyes do that, he blinks again, his eyes do something else. And I was very intentional about looking straight into his eyes, because at that time I also just felt like, now that I know the amount of power that lives in me, that God is really powerful and he was really using me to show his power to Ayanda, I was very fearless. Like I felt like I wanted my eyes to burn his soul, you know. So when we were speaking, like I was literally looking right into his eyes, and I looked right into his eyes to find something in his eyes. And when that happened for me, it was just like, guys, did I just see the devil? Like it was just like, that was the devil, that was proper the devil. And that day, guys, I decided, you know, when you have moments of not being sure, like sometimes when things go really bad and then you just think about, God, do you really exist? Like, God, are you really real? God, why would you let such things happen? You know what I'm saying? Like there are times when things are really bad, guys, where you're just like, I'm not sure about this God anymore. But that moment for me, it disregarded me to ever think that God does not exist, because it was like, it felt like I've literally seen God now, because it was just like I literally saw the devil. I saw him with my own eyes, like with my own eyes. Whether someone believes me or not, that's honestly up to them, but I've seen enough for me to never ever question the existence of God, and to live my life fully for God, because I'd be lying, and I'd know very well I'm lying if I ever said I'm not sure about the existence of God. And I think that's really why I'm so steadfast on God. Doesn't matter what happens in life, like things get really bad, but my reality is always is, I can't do anything. Like I cannot decide, God, you know what, deuces. Because the truth is, I know you live. I know you are the soon coming king. I know there's a king in heaven and he is preparing a place for me. I know that. I can't unknow that, because I literally saw the devil. And the question is, if you've literally seen the devil, seen darkness, how then can you think God does not exist? Because the devil does not exist without God. Without Jesus, there is no devil. God created the enemy himself. So how can the creator not exist if the enemy exists, who was created by the creator? You know? So guys, that for me was it. That was just like, yep, that's it. I'm stuck here for life. If people ever come questioning God, it's like, yeah, baby girl, I understand where you come from. Yes, sir, I get where you coming from. But my reality is, it's him until I die. Like, that's it. Like, I can't unknow what I know now. I can't unknow it. But yeah, guys, that's just basically the story of how a Satanist tried to kill me. Yeah, so anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give this video a like. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care of yourselves. Love you guys. Bye.